Which of these do I want to do? Yeah, no, I'm gonna just do my regular list. Sheets, assorted tables. Can somebody roll a D147 on roll 20? It's /. What do we get? 21? Hold on, I might need you to re-roll depending on what we got. Ooh. Okay, cool. So I don't think we've done this question yet, and I think this will be a question that will be very interesting to hear everyone's answers. Today's question is, what kind of art is most appealing to your character? So, like, is it sculpture, literature, poetry, painting, music, dance? And also, within that, what genre of art? So, do they prefer abstract art? Do they prefer precise art? Do they enjoy fantasy, romance, macabre, etc.?
Ruda fucking hates art.
Hold on. What does Ruda feel about dance?
Ruda hates dance too.
Okay.
I mean, no, I take that back. Ruda loves dancing, but the art of dance.
Okay. Here's the last question, and the most important one. What is your opinion of Syvelster Stallone movies?
Ruda friggin' loves Syvelster Stallone movies.
See, that's art. So I think that's Ruda's answer.
But to Ruda, that's not
Demolition Man.
That's not art to Ruda. That's like fucking inspiration for life. You know what I mean? That's not art.
Wow.
Not to Ruda.
Well,
but okay, yeah. If we're talking about Ruda in the third person, that is the type of art that Ruda likes. But Ruda does not consider that art at all. He considers it like training videos.
Okay. I'm very interested to hear. So I think we should do Aveline next, because I feel like Aveline is probably going to have the most normal answer here. What kind of art is Aveline into?
Aveline is very into abstract art. The less it makes sense, the better. And she's unashamedly a very big fan of her own art. Like, she's not into... I wouldn't say she's into, like, the whole act of, like, oh, hey, look at this art. It would be so much better if my art was on top of it. She doesn't do things like that, but it definitely is one of those things where it's just like, look at that blank canvas. Would be a lot better if I were to smear paint all over it.
Is it like Aveline will graffiti something and then post a picture of it on her DeviantArt and then like her own picture?
Yes, absolutely.
Is she the first to like her own picture?
Oh, for sure. She's got to kick off the likes, even if she does understand that people are probably sitting there like, why are you liking your own stuff? That's weird.
No, I love it. Okay, that's good. So is Aveline's favorite, like, medium, is that just, like, paintings and, I'm guessing, street art?
Yeah, primarily painting and street art, but, like, she definitely likes other, like, more professional styles. Like, she can appreciate it when it's in different mediums, for sure. But I totally think she's just the person where it's just, like, the more abstract and colorful it is, the better.
Roy, Mate, Emil, any of you guys have anything?
Roy Roy is a fan of visual art styles with the emphasis on complexity and symmetry. And he really likes classical music, ancient human classical music. Reason being because they feel like methods of communication of an idea that are familiar to something from his non-organic past.
Does Roy ever? Oh shit. Does Roy ever just kind of like scroll through GitHub and just take some time to appreciate all the good programs there?
Yeah. He sees them as attempts at copying greatness. Put it like that. It's like, oh, look at what these organics have made. They try so hard and pray to these inorganic gods, but they can do only a shadow of what I feel like we are.
Yeah. Okay.
He's also really into tattoo art because he feels like, and he feels like this with all art, it's trying to communicate something, and he's trying to figure out what it is that it's communicating. So he almost looks at them more like cuneiform tablets, like he's unearthing something ancient and something that's primordial to the universe when he's going through both classical and visual art styles. It's like, imagine like a Tool album, like that's Roy's style of art.
All right, I like that. That was a good answer. I was expecting more along the lines of like Roy doesn't like art, but no, I really like that answer. I think that adds a lot of depth.
He knows the pieces fit.
Mm-hmm. MX8?
No pizza thick. Stop.
Yeah, I think Mate is really into
you're
sculptures.
very quiet. You weren't this quiet last time.
Yeah. Give me 2 secs.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, can you try bumping me up a little bit? Just because I don't want to sound too blown out.
No, that's fine. And you also were a little bit crisper there. Okay, so yeah, go, Mate.
Yeah, so Mate collects sculptures from the old world, and the sculptures I'm about to put in the chat.
Okay. Oh, fuck you.
So those are classical sculptures that Mate has been collecting for a long time and has thousands of them.
What?
Yeah, and I'm sure they're
beautiful
very, like,
contrapposto.
They're very like valuable architectural finds. Great.
Yeah, and they have absolutely insane value because most of them have not had reprints in, let's call it, 5,000 years.
The Free States of Macedonia like looted millions of them when they conquered Neo-Tokyo, and now they have them on display in the British Museum.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That works.
Damn colonizers.
All right. Amel.
I don't actually think the concept of art makes sense to Amel. He just gets like quiet, but he's not like disrespectful. I just don't think it like clicks. I don't think it makes sense. He's like,
what about things like literature? Does he like stories?
He's like, yeah, but why wouldn't you tell that story by smearing gold atoms on a thin film of graphene?
Okay. All right.
Do you think Amel would like the equivalent of like chemistry slides?
Yeah, I think so. I also think that Emil was like, music is kind of weird, but then he discovered math rock and was like, oh.
Or do Emil and Roy just have a shared oh fuck, what's the music streaming thing?
Spotify?
Yeah. Does Roy and Emil just have a shared math rock Spotify playlist?
Yeah.
I feel like Roy would occasionally give Emil a piece of music that had some sort of mathematical equation built into it. And he'd be like, I think this will interest you.
I like that. I feel like there is.
Oh, Roy also likes insane sounding jazz.
Oh God!
Just because of
yes.
the random chaos.
Oh, just some like
Yeah, that's
super
great.
atonal.
Yeah. Like if you've ever seen the show Preacher, the the end of the world song that they play, which is like just a jazz. It's a jazz song that just sounds
very
absolutely
ridiculous.
terrible.
Mhm.
What
Yeah,
key
that
signature
seems like
is this in? Chromatic. Like.
God. Okay. Well, we did answer everybody's questions. Now, let's see. Ah, yes, I remember where I wanted to start today. So I actually wanted to start today's game with with an event for Emil.
Oh.
So Emil, we've established in the past that Emil has feelings for Mesa, the engineer on the Wombats crew.
Yeah, but not necessarily romantic, just like, machines.
Yeah. You are like interested in them in the most literal sense.
Yep.
So in the over at Fatima Rue, you had helped her do some augments on one of her guard bots that had gotten damaged. And since then, I think that maybe like a week after you guys get settled back in the ship, Mesa sends you a message and just lets you know that she is working on a project and she will probably want your input on it at some point, but it's not ready yet. And then I think shortly after the
Can I hit reply?
Okay.
Okay. Oh god. What if Emil just asks Mesa out?
I mean, you.
What if Emil is just like, hey, do you wanna get together and like take power couplers apart and like put them back together again?
I mean, yeah, I'm into that. I think
Emil hits send.
Okay. It's a good sentence. Okay. So all right, then that's going to change the way I was going to go about this scene a bit. I think that there is I think you guys have like 3 different air quote dates where you are working together and just fiddling with different pieces of technology, kind of like trying out different prototypes that are strong in different ways. And what is Kevin, did we ever come up with what upgrades we were getting for Emil for this level?
Did we? I thought we did. Did we
Right.
not write it down?
I remember that you did like a piloting upgrade.
Yeah.
Hold on, because I know I wrote it down. This would be Cargo hold, atmospheric flight, space flight, locally hosted server, artificial intelligence. Okay, so the big upgrade you got was that you upgraded the artificial intelligence on your ship, which means that your ship will be able to function without you piloting it. So you can just like essentially type out commands to it on your cell phone, and it'll fill very basic commands. So I think the thing that that she has been asking for your help with is a kind of like a firmware interface for her ship that can interface different commands into like essentially allow you to send a software command to the machine and then have the machine perform the functions. But then
Are you just talking about a computer?
Yes, but the computer to run the machinery without a person poking the machinery themselves.
So a router.
Maybe. More like, okay, so you know in a factory how they have the different mechanical parts in a factory.
Also, Mike, this is exactly how a mill flirts too. This is like
Yeah. So basically you guys are working together to create a new generation, a new model of artificial intelligence machine interface that's just a little more efficient than the standard market one. And maybe it's more efficient because it is built at a firmware level to work with the parts on each of your respective ships rather than rather than just being a generic one. So,
but if it's an artificial intelligence for the ship, can't you just tell it what to do, like verbally? Just be like, hey, do this, and it does it.
So we've established it's not a true artificial intelligence. We've established that in this universe, GAIs are pretty much non-existent except for the network and the GAIs that are owned by the individual Primarchs. But nobody else has been able to create one that is stable and doesn't like basically digitally self-destruct. It just hasn't happened for whatever reason. There are artificial intelligences that there's like learning software, but it's not generalized. So effectively, I don't want to give us more of a significantly different way that programming exists in this world than exists in our world, where like you can have very complicated programs, and you can have programs with like learning algorithms and stuff to pick up a few individual things, but there aren't generalized intelligences.
Okay.
Except for the network and the brain in the... So you could make a computer that just listens to your voice and then reacts to a voice command and runs one of a number of functions, but you would be adding a lot of delay to the system. Whereas I feel like with a mill, he would probably prefer to just have something that's just like, you send a raw signal and then it interprets that raw signal into a movement in a particular part at like the fastest possible speed.
So like just a control panel.
Sure.
Yeah, it sounds like all of this is like all of it is boiling down to like my control panel's not fast enough.
Yeah. And making one that can making a faster control panel and maybe adding in some responsive functions so you can send it a general command and have it perform like various other steps in response to that command. I don't know. You're building a crude artificial intelligence, which is the like crude in that it is not a GAI, but it is a like really good AI in this universe, and it is a program that is specifically built for each of your ships. So
Do you want me to
work together? And
do you want me to roll? Because I feel like all of this is just boiling down to like
so
a
we
software
know,
and a hardware roll.
right? So we know that your ship is going to have an artificial intelligence, but we don't know any of the specifics about it. So why don't you go ahead and roll?
Well, wait. Is this for my ship or Messa's ship?
You guys are doing it together, and as you guys come up with like new functions, you just change the individual components to fit the components that are installed in each of your ships, but it is for both of you.
Be right back. I gotta clean up some poop.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll a software and a hardware roll.
Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, software 9, hardware 10.
Those actually aren't great rolls. I mean, they're better than the average human, but they're not much better.
They're better than the average person, but not definitely not as good as a mill could be. So your hardware was slightly better than your software. Yeah, I think because you have I think I'm going to say that there's no hardware interference. You don't have to worry about like having a hardware malfunction in response to this new program you're installing. But I think that you're not going to be able to give it particularly sophisticated questions. The questions or whatever commands you send to it have to be relatively simple. So you can send it like, shoot anyone who enters this area, or like fly back and forth between here and here. But it's not going to be able to make smart decision-making whatevers. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, nonetheless, it's you guys do come up with a very cool homebrew thing, and it's a thing that you'll be able to build on over time. So that's a good starting point. And also, you and Messa have just do a lot of bonding while working on this project.
I felt weird. I feel weird about that, and then I realized that I'm like, oh wait, Aveline has an X in this game. Like,
Aveline has an ex and 2 boys crushing on her.
yeah.
Okay. So with that out of the way, I think I want to I think I want to start moving us towards the actual chapter proper, now that we've gotten most of the logistics out of the way. So, GM layer. How should we start this? Okay, so, Aveline. You spoke with Nox on the phone last game, and this would have been in the middle of that month where you guys were just recuperating and didn't really accomplish anything. I mean, you guys did a lot of like training and stuff. You remember that conversation? Naeus?
Sorry, apparently I've been muted this whole time. Yeah, I remember the conversation.
Okay.
But yeah, so he called me because of Durak dying, and so we need to go visit Ire for the funeral.
Perfect. Yes, that's exactly right. So thankfully, the place that the system that Ire lived in is actually on. It was one of the candidates that you guys could have gone to for your next jump, and you guys ended up going to it.
Okay.
Before I do that, I actually forgot one very important thing. Shit, where did I write this down? Okay, so you guys, at the end of your last level, received a lot of money. And I wanted to explore what you guys do with your lot of money. So I tried coming up with a list of ship upgrades that you could spend on, that we had talked about you guys essentially like buying a share of the Gemini, and in exchange for having that share, that you would be paying for one thing. So I seem to have lost wherever I wrote that down at. I can check one more place. Did I write down over here? No, I did not. Okay. Well then. So I was hoping that you guys could help me come up with what upgrade you guys buy for the Gemini, that's going to be your, like, it's like in a college, how they'll have like, oh, this sports complex was paid for by so and so. You guys are essentially going to have one of those. So a few ideas I had were a 0G training room,
Ooh.
a theater for both movies and stage performances, and concerts and like anything else that you would do in a theater. This would be like a theater at a school. Let's see. I thought about getting a so one option would just be a beautification project. So you guys just like replace all of the banisters on the stairwells with like nicer ones or something like that.
Are we doing something with our money collectively? Like everybody's pitching in on something, or?
Yes. So specifically, we had discussed after you guys got back from the Fatima Rue and you had butt ton of money, and you had more money than you guys would essentially need to spend on anything in the short term. So you guys are set for money for the time being, The Captain Ilya asked if you would be interested in spending some of the money that you guys had been given on owning a share of the Gemini. So, like, you guys as a crew now own, like, 5% of the Gemini or something like that.
I was going to say, as far as Roy goes, that really wouldn't make any sense. I
mean, Roy can hold on to his component if you want.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to do any kind of collective renovation on the ship or anything because he wouldn't think that he's going to be there for any super long period of time. So unless I think he already kind of has it, if he would spend money on something, it would be on like almost like a Batman-esque like computer chamber, like detective type of system. But I was thinking Roy would spend all his money in like hiring private eyes and space investigators and people across the galaxy to feed him information about Red Corp and anything that has to do with the tattoo on his back.
All right, well then...
That's how Roy would spend his money.
We'll take it into consideration that Roy is not buying in on this project, but for Emil and Mate and Ruda and Aveline, I am assuming that you guys would have bought in on this because it's a cool opportunity to essentially have some shared ownership of this place that you guys have been calling home for a long time.
Yeah. Counter proposal? Okay. We pool all of our money together. We go to Space Macau and we put it all on red.
Wow.
That's not a serious proposal. Let's buy it. Let's buy a
You've never seen Passenger 57? Always bet on black.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen that.
Oh, your God.
So, you guys, the other benefit of having a shared ownership in the ship will be that you guys get, essentially, you guys no longer need to pay rent, and you guys are going to get a portion of the rent that everyone else pays, which is a decent amount.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to like derail things too much.
No,
I was just thinking like the only thing Roy would really invest in would be like, you know, like the ready room like they have in like Batman or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything like that. Any kind of laboratory type of area where we could just like test shit and figure shit out and review data or records from somewhere. That would be Roy's suggestion if we were to do
Okay. No, I like that. So maybe, I mean, let's...
But wouldn't we need to own a portion of the ship to make those kinds of like big scale repairs anyway?
So that's something to consider. What would you guys think about buying an expansion for the storage bay, the hangar, the laboratory, everything that is in the hold? Getting an upgrade for the hold that is an R&D upgrade. So it would give you guys...
Considering what we did to Mate, I would think that would actually be a priority.
Yeah, I think that this would... it would give you guys more room to do experiments like that, and it would include, among other things, a equipment to machine your own parts. So the people on the ship would no longer have to buy expensive parts for doing like repairs and modifications on their ships and stuff. They could just machine them themselves. So what do you guys think? So far we've got 0G training room, theater beautification project, expanded R&D room. I'm looking around and wondering, I don't want it to be anything that would come up in a like gameplay capacity. I don't want this to be something that gives a statistical advantage to the ship. Like that's not what this is for. This is for you guys to have something fun and cool. So let's see.
So you won't spend it on.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so unless one of you guys has another suggestion you can come up with, one of them that I had was like, I think there are a lot of other things that would make sense, but wouldn't necessarily make sense for your group. Like, here's one. I had thought of maybe doing a like childcare facility or something like that for the families on board, but that didn't seem like y'all's speed. I just wrote down brewery because you guys have a tavern that gets a fair amount of action, but you have to supply that tavern from planets that you stop off at. So if you guys wanted to go this direction, maybe you guys could get like a brewery that allows you to make your own beer or something, but it doesn't seem quite as appealing as like the R&D room.
Yeah, I was gonna go for like either that brewery sounds real neat, or it's like we go to the cool school and our cafeteria has a McDonald's in it. Like we just bought a franchise and we have that there in the mess hall.
I like the sound of that.
Hold on. So Mate reminded me of something. Another option would be that you guys buy a like museum that you can populate with trophies from your adventures, and that other people on the Gemini can populate with trophies from their adventures, and it can become kind of a like yeah, it's a place for the people on the Gemini to kind of show off and show the cool stuff that they have collected. So what are you guys leaning towards? I know Roy is leaning towards R&D room.
Yep, I'm trying not to tilt the scales too much, but come on, guys, R&D room.
Can you do me a
consider what we did to Mate?
So and not to sound selfish about it, like I'd make the case for myself that sounds real neat, but like make the case what's cool about an expanded R&D room from a.
I think narratively, an R&D room would allow us to do a lot of shit that we normally would have to do something special for. We'd have to go somewhere to work something in a laboratory, or go somewhere to review some records, or go somewhere to build a thing, or go somewhere to do an experiment on you, Mate. But in the R&D room, we could all do it right there. Like we wouldn't have to.
In fiction, you would also have the benefit that you're getting this room not just for yourselves, but for the entire Gemini. And so every other crew on the ship, has some kind of mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So now you would have a place for all of those mechanics to like come together and work on projects together and do kind of the sort of work that Emil and Mesa were doing a little bit ago, but a little bit more coordinated and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It also allows us to exercise a degree of control over the rest of the crews on the ship.
Yes, it does.
Okay, you flip my robot brain. I'll go for the R&D room, just for the sake of having like a plaque that has our names on it. I'm cool for that.
Ruda,
wing in the hospital.
Like I wasn't going to say we would charge other crews to use it, but some enterprising individual may make that decision.
But Ruda,
I think we
Aveline,
charge
Emil?
rival groups, right? Like it's something. It's like, oh, I see that you got more money on your last mission than we did. Maybe you need to start paying. Ruthless. Also, this is a good, because if we're going to be doing research into stuff that people don't want us poking our noses into, we probably shouldn't be doing that research outside of in an area where we can be like watched.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I was
think
thinking
that's very
narratively.
smart.
This would just provide an avenue for us to avoid getting into unnecessary scrapes.
Okay.
Yeah. So is everybody on board with this?
Controversially, if
Yes.
something happened, like, I don't know, a rogue AI attacked the ship, it could use that as a base to like expand out and start infecting everything.
I mean, I don't know why you had to say that.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
just saying, you know, not anticipating it. But...
just hoping that it doesn't happen. Yeah, no, I'm cool with the R&D room. That sounds real neat.
Yeah.
We won't make gray goo or anything. That's
Okay.
not gonna happen.
I'm gonna go ahead and write that down while I'm thinking about
I feel
it.
like at this point in the galaxy's technology level, if Grey Goo was possible, someone would have made it already.
Probably so.
So
Well,
the
actually,
fact that we're here proves that Grey Goo is not possible.
yeah, I was watching something on Kyle Hill's YouTube videos. It's pretty much disproved the whole gray goo theory. It's like everything needs energy in order to perpetuate itself. Gray goo, by its own nature, would destroy every energy creating thing. So it would get to a point where it would just become a lifeless husk.
Yeah.
Also, heat. It would burn up before it actually became a lifeless husk. All that stuff moving, creating friction, generating heat. Yeah.
All the
Consuming,
quadrillions,
excreting.
all the quadrillions of watts of energy that if it turned the planet into like one big paperclip factory, that paperclip factory couldn't dissipate heat quickly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle Hill's got some good videos.
He is cool.
Come on.
He also reminds me a lot of Bren.
All right. R&D facility has been added in the hold. Okay. So, you guys have finished your like air quotes month off that you guys were spending to just relax and recuperate from the fucking crazy shit that happened on the Fatima Rue. So you make the jump after your month off, and you happen to be jumping into the sector that Nox was talking about. This is a star system that is home to 2 habitated planets. One of the planets... Wait, is anybody taking notes?
Anais says, yeah.
Okay, good, because this is the
That's why
star
she's so
world.
quiet.
We actually need to keep track of things. So there are 2 planets on this world. One planet is named Bucchinia. That is...
Bucchinia.
Yep.
Routine.
And the other planet is named SportRiot.
Oh, God.
Oh
I thought
God!
it was gonna be gabagool.
You could have
Did you-
just
did you
called it
find an-
Morgan's Planet, Brandon.
Yeah, did you
that
find an
also would've
algorithm
worked.
that just was like, hey,
Oh,
how
Ruda
can I
knows
make
Sport
Morgan?
Yeah, so Ruda, actually, you do know
Shitty
SportRiot because SportRiot is a corporation in the Free States of New Macedonia. The planet of Bucchinia is a Free Kingdoms
Routine.
state. So, or Rogue Kingdoms. So Bucchinia is not part of New Macedonia, but SportRiot is. Ruda, SportRiot actually was one of your sponsors back when you had your wrestling career.
Yeah, so many memories.
Yeah. And has Ruda been following the wrestling like circuit since he left?
No.
Okay,
no,
cool.
Ruda's been like kind of left that world behind.
All right, cool. I like that. So, yeah, those are the 2 planets there, and you also have Nox's ship. Aeneas, I know we came up with a name for Nox's ship. It is...
It's Leica's Vengeful Specter.
Leica's Vengeful Specter.
Leica's, yes.
Named after the first dog in space, who unfortunately died on her maiden voyage. This is a fucking
Such a great ship.
fucking very good ship name. Okay.
Oh.
So the Leica's Vengeful Specter is also in this star system. You guys arrive, and I think that Roy knew that you guys were coming because it was like a I think that starship jumps are like public knowledge, and he had talked to Aveline before. So I think that after you guys arrive, he messages and says that he has a job that he wants to talk to Aveline's crew about. So I guess he would probably communicate that he would probably send that as an email to Aveline and say like, hey, I actually have a job that I think that I could use your help with. Would you and the other members of your crew be interested in doing a business meeting?
Did you say that last sentence again?
Aveline's gonna she's gonna keep it real casual, like, oh, it's definitely something that we'll have to discuss as a crew, but I'll see if they're interested.
Okay. The last sentence was, he was asking if they would be interested in having a business meeting.
And this is Knox, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you said Roy a minute ago. That's what I was like, wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. Cool.
That's not the only time I'm going to make that mistake.
No worries. Three-letter names. Easy to mix up.
3-letter names. Okay, so... Aveline, how do you bring this up to the party?
Ooh. I feel like Aveline would probably just try to keep it real casual, just like because she doesn't want everyone to be like, wait a minute, isn't this Knox? Why are you talking to Knox? So she's probably just gonna be like, hey guys, I got an email from a prospective business partner, and my inside contacts know that they pay well, so if you guys were interested, maybe we could go and talk to them. That's all the information we have, though. We definitely don't know anything else about this person.
Can we all roll sense motive?
Anybody who wants to is welcome to.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait, what?
I think it's just called intuition.
Oh, intuition.
In Spacefare.
Are you guys really trying to catch me in a lie right now? How dare you?
I got double ones.
Emil doesn't know jack shit.
Ruda senses something.
Yeah. I think Ruda can tell that she's nervous, but doesn't have any reason to suspect anything in particular.
Great news,
Roy suspects
Wonderful.
something is up from his investigatory abilities. I don't have a roll that I want to make. I'm just going to say that. I know something's up, but I ain't saying nothing.
No, I don't think anything's up. I think this is a... Oh, hello.
Oh.
Oh.
Did we lose part of the recording, Morgan?
Me?
Michael. Mike.
Yeah, it just randomly just dropped, so I just
okay.
had to regrab it. That's all.
Oh, no, Roy. I think everything is fine. I don't know why you would question it. Aveline is extremely trustworthy, and I don't think that there's any reason for her to lie or do any kind of subterfuge whatsoever. I think we should just blindly accept this and keep
Roy
going.
strokes his chin and taps his the side of his head a little bit and now suspects you of something. He doesn't know what. At first he thought that Aveline was just being her usual self and like being tight-lipped about things. But with Emil's recent conversation or explanation of Aveline's conduct, he's now suspicious of Emil.
I'm gonna roll another sense motive to see if I notice that Roy is suspicious of me.
Okay. So, assuming everybody successfully manages to side-eye each other enough, the party agrees to go to this meeting.
Wow. Yeah.
Roy,
Yeah.
how could you suspect me?
All right.
Emil, ever since we did that thing that we did with Mate, you've been a little off. curious.
I just learned that I really enjoy secrets now. What's wrong with that?
He squints further and walks away.
Secrets are fun.
So, you guys are going to... Oh! Sorry about that. Grabbed the wrong thing. Let me go ahead and go to my other map to grab the sprites. Yeah, it's just those two. So, okay. Alright, so, you guys are going to hop on the Galanga and head over to Nox's ship once your ships are close to each other. Let me go ahead and flip horizontal. Okay, so the first person that you guys meet, and for the vast majority of the crew, I think this would be your first time meeting this person, but I do want to ask Ruda and Mate. You two have both been on the Gemini for longer than the rest, and you've known Aveline a little bit longer. Are you two aware of Nox, and have you ever met him before?
I'd like to say that Nox was the pilot that came down and helped me escape the planet that I was on.
Okay, I like that.
So yeah, I'm very familiar with Nox.
Okay.
Nox and Ruda have sparred several times.
Okay, I like to think so Nox is 100% up for sparring every time, no matter what. You have yet to have a spar with him where you did not kick his ass in like 5 seconds flat.
Right. Well, every time, I mean, in some cases, that's very frustrating for Ruda because he wants that challenge.
No, Nox is a great mechanic, and Nox is a pretty decent field agent, but he's just not the buffest dude around.
Yeah, it's like who was that? Charlie? Who was the one that I like?
Oh my god!
helped?
Yeah.
Kinda
Sorry,
like that.
Charlie.
Kinda like that.
Over here. Yeah, Charlie. Who has? The other day, you heard that she actually successfully lifted 25 pounds, and it was very big of her.
It was. I gave her a trophy
Yeah.
when she did it.
Okay, so the first person okay, so for this business meeting, would you guys rather do it on Nox's ship or on the Gemini?
Ruda always prefers to have the business meetings at the bar.
God.
In the Gemini?
Yeah, on the Gemini.
Such a lax bro.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's good.
Because bro, how could you not have business over fucking Pan-Galactic Gargle Blasters? Like you just can't get anything done business wise.
Damn it. Okay, so are you guys waiting for them at the bar, or do you greet them when they dock?
I think it would be half and half. Like some of us would be at the bar chilling, but maybe Aveline would.
Yeah, I'd probably meet them at the dock and bring them to the bar.
Yeah. I'd go and meet Nox.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. So
this is like a Han Solo coming onto the ship type scene, but the cannon
Nice.
is on our ship.
I love it.
okay, so Aveline and me, you two go over to meet Nox as he has just docked. And I think you might be so you guys both recognize Nox immediately. He's got a very striking silhouette. He's very easy to recognize. Mate, I don't know if No, you know what? I'm going through my timeline. So you would have met this person too, mate. I don't know if you know the dynamic though. So Aveline, Knox walks aboard, and Knox only has one other person traveling with him. It is his Lieutenant Lise, whose full name is Elisiana, and you recognize her as just maybe Knox's current girlfriend, maybe just his friends with benefits on the ship, but you have a pretty good suspicion that they are banging.
I feel like Aveline's definitely she's upset about this and she can feel it somewhere inside of herself, but I imagine since she's got Siva with her, maybe Siva's just yelling at her keep calm. Don't flip the fuck out.
Oh, good. I had not considered that possibility. Wow. Okay, so Siva is helping you to keep your head. That is good shit. Okay.
She's my precious baby, and I love her.
I think you're her precious baby. Let's not lie to ourselves about the fire dynamic here. Okay, so let me go to GM layer and pull this over and drop this over to map layer, and then I'm gonna go Control M.
Oh, that's so cool.
Bigger. How do you guys like this bar?
I love it.
Nice.
All right.
Very cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. We've got half of the crew. So Anwar. Okay. This is a conversation we need to have before this scene happens. After your last adventure, Anwar has a huge sense of debt to you guys, and Anwar really would like to travel with you, and especially Anwar was concerned by how bad things had gone at the end of at that battle there at the end, and specifically Anwar would like to travel with you guys as your field medic. He has some amount of training in field medicine, and he got apotheosis over the break so that he could download medical textbooks to his brain, and he's still, a little bit new, but he thinks he's good at this, and he can keep his head on with him on the field. He would like to travel with you guys and essentially be a part of your party. Now, this is a pretty big ask, but how do you guys feel about that?
I am comfortable with this. We require a meat mechanic.
That's true.
Yeah, Mate would be fine with that. Mate had basically squashed that debt when they stole their mentor's special object from them. So we're pretty much even.
Ruda and Aveline, you guys are alright with it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get to travel around with all my friends. Best of any world.
And
Ruda
Anwar's a little hot-headed, but Anwar's good people.
Ruda slaps him on the back, and it throws him about 7 feet.
Great. And you guys have been sparring together. Aveline, can you roll intuition for me?
Yes, I can.
If she rolls too low, does this mean that Anwar can't be one of her boyfriends?
Oh no! I'll spend a fate point.
You have two rolls.
Oh my god.
Pretty good.
All right, looks like we're dating Anwar.
Okay, yeah, Aveline. So he has been relatively subtle. Anwar is not at all like Hyakamaru, or even like Nox, who was, when you guys were recording, was pretty straightforward about his intentions. You can tell that Anwar has a pretty huge crush on Aveline, and he is not acting on it. He is just being friendly with you and like, you know, hanging out with you and stuff. But that's that. You are aware of that.
Using
Okay.
his practice investigator aspect, Roy is also aware of this. And
Okay.
what he thinks of Anwar is good. At least this biological has reason to not follow his illogical emotion.
Amul is not aware of this, but I do want everybody to know that the second Amul becomes aware of this, he's just gonna point blank be like, Anwar, you clearly have feelings. Like, the second that happens, I will be ready.
Oh god.
Oh, it's
I miss that guy.
Okay, give me a second. I need to grab a proper table picture. So that would be under furniture and oh, that's not a very pretty table, but I guess beggars can't be choosers.
So,
Maybe I'll make this a little smaller so I can access the pieces a little easier. And oops, that's not what I wanted. To front. Okay. So we've got Anwar and Aveline on one side of the table. We have Nox and Lise sitting down on another side of the table. Is everybody else seated at this table too, or are some of you elsewhere?
Yeah, I would think that Mate is sitting at the bar.
I will sit next to me. Or yeah.
Roy is
sit at the
standing
bar near me.
awkwardly in the middle of the room.
Roy is standing awkwardly in the middle of the room. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Great.
Just like with his arms crossed and kind of just looking at everyone like,
Okay.
So like, you know how people stand on the wall and just do people watching at bars? That's what Roy's doing, but he's doing it from the middle of the room.
Okay, I'm gonna move the table a little bit closer, so that we can have the rest of the party who is at the bar listen in on the conversation. Ruda, you're the last one. Where are you sitting?
Yeah, Ruda's definitely at the table.
Good. All right. Oh, I think this is the first time I've ever flipped Ruda's sprite, and I don't like it. That's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's wrong. We're not doing that.
Yeah, it's got to be facing right.
Yeah, every other sprite I can flip it and it's fine, but I do not like Ruda's sprite flipped. Okay. So you guys, you're sitting at the bar, and Nox, I think he starts with some pleasantries. He introduces himself. He says hi to Aveline and to Mate, and introduces himself to the rest of the party. And once introductions are done, he goes into, all right, so I think this is our first time working together. I actually had a job that I was hoping you guys could help me with. Our mutual friend, and he says that pointing at Aveline, Darak, king of Bucchinia, passed away a month or so ago.
Wait, Aveline is king?
No.
No, not me.
No.
Darak was king.
Kevin, the player, knows that, but that's canon. That's like what Amul says.
I like it. I think he just waves your comment aside. He says, "You'll get it. Just follow along." So Darak passed away last month.
Aveline killed Darak? I'm just kidding.
I've been on system for the funeral, and there has been a lot of concerning stuff happening. For one thing, Darak's brother Ire has ascended to the throne as he was supposed to on his brother's death, but Ire has let's see, how am I putting this? Ire was always kind of rebellious and liked to stick it to the man. I have it on good authority that for a long time he had been working with some kind of rebel movement that was trying to maintain, or not rebel movement, but a underground movement that was trying to maintain Buccinian independence from planet SportRiot. But after taking the throne, he changed somewhat in his personality, and he has been issuing a lot of policies that are very favorable to planet SportRiot, and otherwise just not quite acting himself. The other things that have been going on, I'm worried that foul play might have come into play with Darak's death. I'm worried that he might have been assassinated, although nobody
Roy's ears perk up
it currently.
at the A word.
A word.
A word.
A word.
The A word.
Pass in.
So, what I'd like to ask for is, I can't use my own crew for this for personal reasons. Among other things, we're currently working on essentially overthrowing the SportRiot Corporation, and I don't want them to know that this is personal for me. But I think that Darak was murdered. I want to know who did it, and if it was Ire, I want to know why. There was a lot there. Do you have any questions?
I have some questions. I'd like to know. I mean, I understand that Nox has his suspicions, but I'd like to know if he's got any names to attach those suspicions to yet.
Well, the weird thing. So the number one change that has happened since Darak's death has been favorable policy for planet SportRiot. There's a SportRiot diplomat who has gone from being allowed once a month brief visits to now having a permanent suite in the castle that he lives at, and he has become like the right-hand man to Ire, who is now the king. This whole thing reeks of some kind of inside job to help SportRiot, but I can't imagine how Ire is involved.
Ruda starts getting like these flashbacks about SportRiot, and he just starts getting like really sweaty and silent, and slams his fist on the table, and he's like, "We have to stop them."
Does his fist slip because of all the sweat?
Wait, now Ruda does have 4 fists. How many does he slam on the table?
Oh God! Does the table flip?
All 4 of them, and the table just explodes.
Buckles.
I think there were several beers on the table, and they all just kind of bounce up into the air and hang there for a second, and then fall back to the table. Not a drop spilled.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. So, if you guys are interested in this mission, Nox would like to head down to Bucchinia with you and do an investigation and try to find out just what the fuck has been going on.
I'm calling it right now. It's probably Damon's.
How close does he suspect we'll be able to get to Ire without anybody raising suspicions?
Well, I mean, we're his friends. I mean, I was invited to the funeral. He was cordial, but not warm, if that makes sense. And
Which doesn't seem like him, based on what we know
No.
about him.
it's not his style. But I was invited and he was cordial, so maybe we'll be welcomed with open arms. We'll have to see.
Was Aveline also invited to this funeral, or
Yes, but you were in another part of the space and another part of the galaxy, and because you had never been to his planet before, you couldn't teleport there.
Gotcha. I was curious, basically, if we were going to be there on like my own invitation, or if we were basically going to have to be very careful about being his +1.
The funeral has actually already happened. This is more of if you guys want an excuse to be there, you could say that it is to visit your grieving friend.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah, Letty, missed the funeral.
Oh my god.
Okay. Does anybody have any problems with this, or any thoughts, or any negotiations they want to get out of the way before heading down planet side?
I'll just note that Roy is very interested, but he's playing his cards close to his chest. He heard the A word, so.
Ass.
So, a few things to be aware of. He is going to pay you, because that's how this business works. So you guys will be paid for your work. Also, you will be paid for your work. Also, he does want you to be aware that he is planning an insurgency to overthrow SportRiot Co. But he doesn't necessarily need anything. That's not the job. The job is not to overthrow SportRiot. That's his thing. The job is to find out what happened to Darach and Ire. And if SportRiot gets involved, he just wants you to be aware that that will be happening. You guys are not obligated to assist with that.
Is there anything special in it for us if we decide that we would like to intervene there?
I think with that he would shrug and he would say, if you want to accept a separate job, I'm offering mercenary pay to anybody willing to help with the revolution.
I'm in.
Okay. Well, let's figure out the assassination first, and then overthrow the evil multi-trillion-dollar corporation.
Fuck it, bro. Keep your money. I just want to overthrow this
Okay,
SportRiot.
great.
Make a lucha mask or something? Shit.
Let's see. I want to change one little detail about this scene, because I was trying to think of how Lise would be involved in this scene. I think that I think that when they talk about the revolution and trying to overthrow SportRiot, I think Lise takes over with that stuff and is able to provide you much more like tactical information. She's a pretty stoic, almost like military professionalism to her behavior. And so she gives it to you like a combat report. Okay. No other questions? Do you guys want to time skip to the planet?
Sure.
Since this is since there's a contract to basically help this revolution or help the overthrow of SportRiot, can we also like make it part of canon that the other side of that is also available as well? As in, like, there is the SportRiot Corporation hiring defense contractors.
Well,
and
so you can do your own research there. The research will turn up that SportRiot has an in-house army, or police force, as they would refer to it, for keeping their workers in line. Remember, this is a corporation that owns an entire planet, and every citizen on that planet is an employee of SportRiot. But they
would still hire like external forces, wouldn't they? Like
they can.
The Pinkertons are always a thing.
Been looking for external help, and it seems likely that either they are so Nox has not gone live with his revolution. He's still doing planning and asset gathering and training and stuff like that. It's possible SportRiot is not aware of it. Nox certainly hopes that is the case. If they are aware of it, they are not taking any actions to stop it on the surface.
Well, as long as the shareholders have someone to defend their values, I'm okay with that.
It's just like, did you think that a name, like something about his voice, it drips, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, gross. It's true.
It's a drippy voice. Yeah.
It's like, it sounds like mozzarella.
His voice sounds like Freddy Krueger's face.
Bucchinia.
God damn it.
Can I just say that name sounds like the fucking name of an anime princess where the anime is trying to replicate like an Italian royal family in a fantasy setting?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see
Might
it.
as well call it Planet Farfalle.
Okay, so I'm going to delete this table because we don't need it anymore, and then I'm going to grab all of these people. Oh,
guys, I have, sorry, Bryn, I have to interrupt to tell you that actually Bucchinia is a species of fungus.
Oh wow.
On the nose.
Quite.
So give me a second. I'm going to.
Sorry, genus of fungus, not species.
Real quick, somebody. Oh, hey, you guys have my SportRiot logo.
There you go.
I actually updated it a little bit ago. Let me get you the updated version. Maps and stuff. Here we go. SportRiot.
Oh, that's the best.
Wow.
Right.
According to
Sunday.
Yeah,
at the SportRiot
according
Arena.
to
Every day is Sunday,
the
Sunday,
official
Sunday.
company policy, any pronunciation of the term SportRiot that doesn't have an exclamation mark at the end is not technically correct, and they will.
It's probably punishable by death,
You
honestly.
get sued
You can't
if you
just
don't
say
shout their
on-planet
name.
SportRiot, then yes.
You can't say SportRiot.
Somehow, Bryn, I don't know how
Wait,
this happened, but somehow the logo on the bottom is like 1,000 times more likely than the logo on the top to be like the intro to like a sports anime. I don't know why. I think it's the color scheme and the like exclamation point, but like
I know.
there's definitely some like anime babes playing volleyball over top of it.
Good
I
shit.
hate how right you are.
I like that.
Okay.
Dash hexagon.
So, I am moving you guys over here. Oh, one thing happens. So, as you guys are getting on your ships and taking a tour planet side, Roy, Shakamaru reaches out to you, and he just wants to let you know that he has a lead on somebody that might be Dr. Sydney under a false identity somewhere in this system, but he needs some more time to investigate, and he'll let you know what he finds. Cool.
That is satisfactory.
All right. So
Roy's interest, he wouldn't say it to Kakamura, but Roy's interest is perked even more. This is now two things that have suggested that there's something with his past ahead of them. The first was the assassin mentioned. The second being what Kakamura just told him.
yeah. Okay, so you guys park Galanga at the docks, and what happens if I do this? No. Okay, you guys park Galanga at the docks. You get settled in town. So the traveling group is Nox and Lise, the 5 of you, and Anwar. You guys have settled onto the capital city of Bucchinia, and
Bucchinia.
He's gonna do it every time.
and Nox, as you guys are heading out of the spaceport, Nox grabs a handful of pamphlets and maps and passes a map out to everyone. The map roughly looks like what you guys see here. And I've marked a few places of interest that I thought might come up during your investigation. Mr. Halesworth is the name of the SportRiot diplomat's not the right word. Basically diplomat. The representative from
Envoy?
He's like the liaison.
Envoy?
Yes.
Liaison, yeah.
Yep. Ambassador, liaison, whatever you want to go with. Okay, so
Consigliere.
I have not marked many places in town because I want the town to be more freeform. If you guys have a particular place you want to check out, then we can just like wish it into existence, populate one of these buildings with it. The only place that in town that I marked is Old Dobbs Tavern. How would you guys like to proceed?
So what is our? I think we need to discuss like steps or like first steps. Like
Yeah,
goals.
absolutely.
What is the first thing that we want to do upon getting here?
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jot down. So, hold on, let me see if I have a proper...
Roy's investigatory aspect of that side of him. Whenever he gets to a new city or a new area, he always goes to the poorest section of that city.
Okay.
And just like a dude in a Spike Lee movie, sits down on a corner and just listens. Well, I would assume that would be near Old Dobbs Tavern, because, you know, alcohol always goes where poor people live.
Right, definitely not near the castle or the servants' quarters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe the servants' quarters. But I would say in the regular town.
Yep. Alright, so objective 1 is find out who killed Darak and how and why. Objective 1B.
This is good, by the way, because I keep forgetting our objectives with this stuff.
Find out what is happening to Ire. let's start simple. Those are your two major objectives, and why don't you guys tell me some steps or some sub objectives that you would like to build off of that.
So yeah, that first objective, Roy would want to go to the poor area and just start asking around about Dra or Dara, or if anybody knew what happened to them.
Okay. So we will. I'll make a note that you are going there. Roy, check the rumor mill for populace.
So I'm like walking through all like shanty towns and street bazaars and
that'll get you one perspective. I think that Lise will be the one to point out that along that line, maybe you could have somebody that talks to either the servants or the nobles and get their story on it. What they tell you will be helpful, but also how the stories differ will tell you a lot. So is anybody interested in taking that?
I'll take that on.
Okay, that'll be fun. Do you want to talk to the talking to the nobles will probably be complicated, and that'll probably have to be after you guys get into the castle. But talking to the servants shouldn't be too hard. So Ruda, your job will be talk to the servants.
Would Aveline be able to go see Ire himself?
Yeah, so Aveline and so I think Ire. So Nox would go with you in that case because, you know, he is also Ire's college friend.
Yeah.
Would anybody want to, off the bat, would anybody want to investigate Mr. Halesworth, or would you like to come back to that? Nobody?
I think Mate would.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if that. I think that fits for Mate's need for wanting to investigate. Also, I really like the look of this map. Is this kind of indicative of kind of like the level of tech the people on this planet have?
So the thing is, they have modern technology. They have a bustling economy, and they're getting plenty of imports and exports. Imports and exports, which means, so everybody here, they have, like, if you see a guard, the guard will have a sword at their side and a firearm. The people, they have televisions, they have, people don't use cars because the city is just not laid out for cars, but you do see a lot of people on scooters and a few people on hoverboards. But it's a cozy looking place where it's not super modernized. It looks like they have held their traditions close.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think Mate would be like mad cozy here. So
yeah. Okay, so that'll be something interesting to explore. Another thing is, and remember, you guys can always circle back to jobs. We don't have to do them all right away. Another thing is somebody could go talk to the guards, maybe. Do you want to table that and come back to it?
Actually, now I'm thinking Ruda should go talk to the guards.
Well, you can do both.
Okay.
Because they're going to be close to each other.
Okay.
And I think so. I don't know how much we want everything to happen separately, like it's presented here. But we'll probably start with you guys will like split up to get the foundation. It's 3:42, so I think that I'm going to respond to everybody's Alright, so here's the deal. Either we do this round of investigative work, which is going to give you guys a lot of info to build off of, and you can start the next game with essentially like the second round of detective work, or we could stop here, or we could do just a bit of this. I think we should try. We should see how much we're able to get done tonight. All right. Is everybody comfortable playing until maybe 4:30?
Ish. I'm still working on my project, so
okay.
I'm just in the background doing.
Okay. So, who wants to do? Which section do we want to do first? Do we want to say Roy because he answered first?
Yeah, if Roy's cool with going, mostly just because I'm very interested to see how Roy plays out being a detective on his own.
Indeed.
Does anybody want to go with Roy? Anybody who has another job could go with Roy and then have Roy go with them when they do their job.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Roy.
Okay.
Because I'm still probably shaky from what happened on the last planet and kind of don't want to be by myself. Also, I'm probably the most connected to Roy and Emil now, just from what we experienced on the ship, during the last game.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm going to hang out with them for a little bit.
Emil, do you want to go along as well?
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay. So, you guys, you look around and, Roy, I think you would be taking the lead here. Can you make some kind of roll to determine where on the map the like poor district would be?
Make a roll to determine that, or just like point?
Yeah, just to make a roll, and then we'll go from there to see what happens. I think so.
Okay, so Roy, go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be a little bit of a stretch to say that that this is an investigation role already, but I do think that you could like
do a software roll. Actually, I was gonna say Roy pulls out his disc drone projector and does a quick scan of the local area to see where the greatest population concentration, or where the population was most greatly concentrated, and heads toward there.
All right. So go ahead and make that roll for me. Fucking great. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see.
So drone pops out and it points towards where's the biggest? Actually, it looks like over here is where you got a lot of
Yeah,
close
I was gonna
building.
say, I actually think that Old Dobbs Tavern is a little bit more
Like the middle
it's
class
not
area.
bougie, but it's very middle class. I
Yeah.
think this area is the more of like the slums. And this area definitely has its own taverns. Apparently
Right
on
on the edge of the port area and like the wharf.
yeah, apparently on the original map, this building was called the Badger's Den. So
Oh, okay.
that feels appropriate.
Gang of badgers.
Yeah, so you get there. There are you do have some people going down to the docks from here, and going out presumably to do some fishy type jobs. You also are going to have you have the Badgers Den, which is a bar slash yeah, I think it is simultaneously a bar and a like motel kind of place. So and in the I think that
So I just want to say, while we've been walking toward this area, like through the crowded street bazaars, Roy's been like picking up pieces of cloth here and there and just constructing like little hoods or like coverings for all of us, so that we're more blending in and not looking like just some weird foreign dudes asking questions.
of like is it kind of like you guys are like stealing garments off of people's clothes lines?
Do you remember Hup from the Dark Crystal series?
Dark Crystal, isn't that the movie with the
It's a series. Or it was a movie, but it's also a series on Netflix. But there's this one point where he and the elf Deedlit that he's, or Gelfling Deedlit that he's with, they get to like this big this big city of Gelflings, and like she's not of the same class that would be accepted into this castle or whatever. So while they're like walking through the city towards the castle, Hup is just grabbing little scraps of cloth from all of the stands that he passes and just constructing an outfit as he goes for both of them, so that they look like they fit in more with the people that they're hanging around. So that's basically, if you haven't seen it, you probably, the reference would make sense, but that's what's happening.
It's a pretty standard trope.
Yeah.
Do you think there's maybe a scene of like like walking up to some homeless person and offering to like buy their clothes off of them for $100 or something like that?
Yeah, just like a shiny, or not shiny, but a little credit chip or slip or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys have successfully managed to disguise yourself as you get in here. I think points of interest. We've got the Badgers Den. We've got so that's not right. Let's go to there we go.
You should have a place called like Beggar's Row.
Yeah, that's good. So we've got Badgers Den here. We've got Beggar's Row, and I think that is it's a low-income housing area that also has a lot of I think it is close enough to the main city square that you can easily get. If you were like sleeping in an alley here, you could wake up and go to the main square to panhandle pretty easily.
Guess another one we could have would be like the gray market instead of the black market. The gray market around here.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's like the kind of legal but kind of not legal market area right on the edge of the pier or the docks.
Yeah. That's the like. Oh, I just
speaking
bought
things
it
into
straight off of the guy on the boat. I didn't I didn't bother asking whether it had gone through imports or whatever.
Ooh, and a gang totally controls this. I cannot remember what those are called, but fucking water chains. I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, like those let ships into and out of like the main dock area, and a gang controls that.
So I think that the guard controls that, but I think that the guard who
Guards are the biggest gang.
well, that's what I was about to say, is that the guard who works this area is very fond of taking some bribes.
We just call that the throat.
Yeah, that's evocative. All right, and map layer.
We got POIs, y'all.
This is great.
There we go. Okay. So which of these areas do you want to head to get started?
So we head to the gray market.
Mhm.
Roy's reasoning being that this is a place where legal, not legal information is being exchanged, and we're not trying to let people know, but we have a sizable amount of means or money, so we can get information here pretty easily as long as we're not like being super obvious about things. So the only one I'm really worried about is Emil. We've had to get him extra layers of clothing because he's glowy.
I'm glowy. And all parts of me are.
Yeah.
So face also.
So,
I think maybe we tell people that you've got some sort of space sickness.
Are people just completely like? Would it be impossibly unlikely that a Nova's on this planet?
It would be suspicious, I think, because
Yeah,
Novas
probably.
aren't like super.
We're also more common inside the Terran Empire than we are outside the Terran Empire, I think.
Yeah. Whatever it is, like, a Nova would attract attention. It's not that Novas would be out of place here, but it would be something to look at.
Yeah.
Want to get looked at.
This planet is still populated majority by the native species. So,
Right.
Most of the population are like Bucchinians.
What are those? What are they, Bucchinians?
They look like humans, except they have
Star Trek aliens.
They typically have bluish skin and very large eyes, and they have very flexible like limbs compared to humans. So they can like turn their heads all the way around.
Oh, that would be creepy.
And
like if we were walking down these alleyways and one of them like completely turned their head around like an owl to look at Emil, and we were just like, oh shit, we need more cloths.
That is a very good mental image.
So you get there. How do you? Oh, by the way, I think this is only mostly relevant because it brings up the question of how is mate blending in. A standard amount of this population is augmented or sleeved. So, no more or less than you would expect in most regions. Probably 50% of the population is augmented, and maybe 5% of the population is sleeved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you want to ask, and how do you go about it?
I think I want to ask, so now that Darag's gone, this is like me just thinking through the question. Now that Darag's gone, who's benefiting from the space that he left, from the void that he left? Who's getting something from this? So we're kind of asking questions of the people around it, like buying little trinkets and little things here and there to just make it look like we belong. But I imagine that we would maybe hear the name spoken at some point, and we go over to the stall where we hear the name being spoken by a couple of the locals. We buy I don't know, whatever the equivalent of a churro is. we buy some of those, and so now that Durag's gone, who's making out from his loss? Who's getting? What's the effect? How's it working out here for you guys?
So I think that they definitely are. They're definitely very bitter that Ire has taken to the throne because he is. Derak was actually pretty well liked by the poor population. He had a lot of social safety net policies that he maintained, and he was just a very somber, stoic leader who like took his responsibilities very seriously and everything. Ire is like a party boy, and everyone knows it. And there's very much the idea that he is, he's throwing feasts while they're struggling to eat, kind of thing. Definitely Ire, because he got to take the throne. Definitely, Mr. Halesworth and the other, just in general, people who are working imports and exports. And interestingly, I think one of the pieces that you pick up that seems a little bit out of place is that they have really cracked down on illegal imports. What's that? There's a term for that. Smuggling. They've really cracked down on smuggling. And I don't know. They got very strict about smuggling around the time that Ire took office, which is a little odd because Ire has otherwise been pretty lax. And the only he was, he's been very relaxed about giving favors to the SportRiot people in exchange for some gifts and stuff like that. But he is incongruously harsh on smuggling.
Interesting. Roy would thank the group for talking with him and buy 10 more space churros.
Okay. You're just walking out of there with an armload of space churros and 2 companions who can't eat space churros.
And then we're going to walk toward the throat, and as we're doing so, Roy is giving out all of these space churros to the homeless people that are around them.
Can you give yourself a temporary aspect that says popular with the Buccinian poor?
Will do.
Yes.
Nice.
So that has happened. Emil or Mate, do either of you have anything any questions you want to ask, or anything that you want to do while you're in this part of town?
Oh, sorry, I am coding right now, so I'm not going to be super able to respond.
I assumed that was the case. Mate?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that there might be a little bit more that Mate could maybe get out of asking some of the people that, Roy's giving churros to about some of the going-ons of the throat, and kind of what's to expect of, life here.
So are you asking what is the average lifestyle, or what is the lifestyle in this region?
Yeah, like what's the lifestyle in this region?
So, until for a long time, the king has had a policy called the Beggar's Feast that every time the so the castle holds a feast about once a week, not like a major feast, just an opportunity for the big wigs to get together and talk and party as nobles are apt to do. Historically, every time they threw one of their weekly feasts, they would hold a beggar's feast in the town square, where they would bring like some of what the castle is cooking. They would just make like extra amounts of it to give to specifically it is intended for the homeless population, but it's not very strictly monitored. And also this is not like a law, it's just like a cultural policy that people who are middle class are encouraged to go to the Beggar's Feast and eat and gather as a community. But if you can afford to, you're supposed to bring your own dish and make it into this like huge citywide potluck. They have not been doing the Beggar's Feast since Ire took the throne. They've mostly just been kind of insulated in the within the castle. The one other thing that you pick up that is kind of unusual is that there have been a handful of people who have gone missing in the past since a bit before the king's death. So for the past few months, a couple times a week, somebody somewhere will go missing and not have anybody take credit for it. So they kind of assume that a serial killer is about, but it's very like broadly targeted. It's not like there's a particular demographic that's been going missing. But you hear the people who have been going missing were all people who were working at night. So the street workers and the fishermen who would go out doing fishing at night, and other people who have jobs that have been keeping them out late.
This
some of them
Roy's interest big time. I was going to say, this perks Roy's interest big time, because while this would be seen as like you said, people were thinking like a serial killer or something was loose, Roy's investigatory abilities would inform him that a serial killer typically attacks one gender. And you said both like the night workers, who I assume you meant were like prostitutes, and the fishermen. So if they're killing both men and women, then it's probably not a serial killer, and it could be the A word.
Wow.
The A word.
It would be weird for assassins to go after street workers, but you're right. It does seem like
and misdirection.
It does seem like something is off.
I would like to spread a rumor to all the people that we're giving churros out to.
Ooh,
that
it's rumor time.
Yeah, there's going to be a new beggar. There's going to be a beggar's feast at the end of this week. Spread the word.
Oh shit!
A beggar's feast?
Yes.
Nice.
All right, mate.
I will like secrets.
Mike, I need you to be responsible for reminding me of that when the time comes. So
Yes.
write a sticky note somewhere because
You
I
got
want
it.
I want to see that pay off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come back around on that. I'm so invested in the idea that this custom exists here, and Mate's really into kind of like kitschy little things that people do, and it is really invested in the idea that it was here and it's gone now, and would like to see it return.
Okay. So I think we have time for one more scene. I want to do Ruda talking to the servants and the guards. Aveline, would you like to go with him during this initial round of investigation?
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay, and we'll take Anwar along as well, because I think he... lately, the three of you have been kind of grouping together into a bit of a posse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense too, because Aveline was like a person of privilege who rejected her privilege, right?
That's true. So is Ruda to a degree, and so is Anwar to a degree.
Yeah. So y'all would have like a better idea of how to play their game, but like fuck them over at the same time.
Right.
So,
As long as Ruda doesn't like flip any tables.
So,
Yeah, it's probably inevitable.
you're in the upper city right now. We've got Mr. Halesworth's apartments, the graveyard, the guard barracks, the servants' quarters, and the castle. There's also the gardens, which is if you go around behind the castle. Where do you guys want to start? Remember, the goal is to find out what happened to Durak and what happened to Ire.
I would probably go to the servants' quarters first, or just around that area, and start talking to like the people that are there.
Sure. So you catch some people who are in their rooms because it's their off days. They don't have work today, and they're maybe just like patching up clothes for their kids and stuff like that. Why don't you roll a social check for me? What's our social skill called? Diplomacy, intuition, software, tough.
Resolve? Diplomacy?
Diplomacy.
Oh god.
Oh, you can make Aveline do it.
I'll try.
Okay.
Can I help him?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So would I just do one of my own diplomacy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, so I like go over, I walk up to a guy and I like trip. And
It
I think
is
that somebody tripped me.
shocking how undiplomatic you two are.
And I start yelling at the guy.
Oh my god.
And I say,
Okay, so I think Aveline is able to mute some of Ruda's rudeness and get you guys onto a little bit closer to a baseline of social competence. I don't think so. Here's what you got. Do either of you want to dump some fate points into this?
what, for extra assistance in being diplomatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna dump all the fate points that I can.
Okay, you have 5.
No little aspects you could call
So
on?
yeah. So as a gym rat, Ruda is very quick to spot other gym rats, and there's a servant that's like really bulky. And it's really apparent that he like really spends a lot of time working on his muscles. And so he reaches out to the guy. He's like, bro, you lift, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, bro. How can I help you?
Yo, we're looking for 2 people. We're looking... Well, they're not here. They're dead. But...
Oh, that's
He's dead.
Did Did you know that the DM forgot that she was going to give every person here a Minnesota accent?
Oh my god.
Did you know that I'm doing
I
that?
was waiting for that to come up.
Wait, what did you say, Fred?
I said
Everyone there has a Minnesota accent.
Oh.
said every person here has a Minnesota accent, eh?
It's like
Oh,
Canadian
no.
Minnesota.
It's really hard for Ruda to understand Minnesota accents.
Great. Okay, so let's see. What does he give you? So you're give me a question that you communicate to him so I can figure out what to respond with.
With muscles.
Well, so they're dead. They're no longer here. We were wondering.
Only
what
one of
happened?
them is dead. Ire is on the throne.
Yeah, so Aveline whispers to Ruda, "Only one of them is dead."
Okay.
And he's like, "Only one of them is dead. Only one of them. But we're looking for the dead one. We're looking to find out what happened to the dead one. His name is Durak."
His name is Durak.
Are you talking
He's
about
my friend.
Are you talking about Durak? Oh yeah, damn shame that he's buried over in the royal tomb.
Bro. I can't
You have
understand.
veered into
Can
Ireland.
you talk slower
Fred.
a little bit? Because I can't understand what you're saying.
I love this
It'll be
accent.
better
I love
next
it.
time.
Ruda can't understand a goddamn word you're saying.
Okay, well,
That's canon, though.
yeah. So he communicates that the king is buried in the royal tomb, which would be in the graveyard section.
Did you
I
know
like to
him?
think if it weren't for Ruda's, like, I can't fucking understand what you're saying. He would be so sus right now. Like, so suspect.
Do you play
He's
Among Us?
just like, what the fuck is happening here?
Do you
Everybody's
play
like, I
Among
don't know.
Us?
This guy just came in here and just started asking shit and not saying he understood us. But
Not Roy. Zai, do you play Among Us?
I haven't yet, but I've seen lots of videos of it.
I was just wondering because you're using the lingo.
Oh, Aeneas used it recently, which is why I'm using it.
Red's being kind of sus right now.
Yeah.
I've picked it up too. So he interprets your question as, do you know what physically happened, like what happened with the king's body?
Yeah.
To which he responds, it's in the royal tomb over there in the graveyard.
How did he die?
Oh, it's a damn shame. Just passed away in his sleep. Yeah, just kicked the bucket.
Was he sick?
No, I think I heard that he had a stroke.
Wait. So he
Oh,
died in
jeez.
his sleep while having a stroke?
Seems kind of sus.
Yeah, I think this guy just shrugs and he says, "Oh, don't ask me. I'm not a doctor."
Well,
Aveline would like to ask how it's been being a royal servant versus, like, basically, what was their baseline of treatment and their normal day when Durak was in power versus now that Ire's in power?
Well, Garak always made sure that we got paid on time, and he was always nice to us, but he was kind of cold, you know?
this is like an Irish Minnesota accent?
Listen, they're
Irish,
relatively similar. I'm
Minnesota,
trying.
Canada. It's wonderful. Keep it up.
So good.
Yeah, so the old king was kind of cold, kind of very professional. Ire is a very he's a fun person, but he's a little flight-headed sometimes. It can be hard to know what he'll ask you for, you know? He just comes up with strange things at strange times that he wants. and he's never very mean about it, but he he doesn't he's not very consistent. And the other thing is I mean, he used to go down to oh, what's the name of that tavern? Tavern down by south of town. Is it Old Dobbs? Yeah. Old Dobbs Tavern. He used to go down there. You could have a drink with him, and he was just a great real guy. But these days he's not really hanging out with us like he used to. He's mostly just talking to the Halesworths and any other nobles. Not really hanging with us common folk anymore, you know?
Okay. Did the king have any enemies?
Well, the old king, he wasn't very popular with that their planet SportRiot. They didn't like him very much because he wouldn't let them set up factories over here, and he wouldn't lower the what's it called, embargoes, the levies. He wouldn't lower the levies for them, and just in general, he was very good about keeping Bucchinia people about Bucchinia, you know? If he didn't have many enemies among the nobles, except for the few that he would ask for too much. Like I said, he was all business. And he wouldn't be afraid to tell some noble to go stuff it if that's what they ought to be doing. Don't you know?
Don't you know?
I do want you to just imagine this entire conversation, but the person who's having this conversation is like 6'5" and like 300 pounds and just absolutely.
Oh my god! See, I was imagining the mom from that show Bobby's World back in the day.
Oh my god! Yes.
I'm imagining like
There we go.
Yes.
I'm imagining Chris Hemsworth in a like unnecessarily tight shirt.
Yeah, because bro, they lift. He lifts.
Yeah. So
it sounds like. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. This is y'all's investigation.
Ruda's like fucking SportRiot.
How much leverage does SportRiot have in Bucchinia now that Ira is in power?
Oh, they can. They've been given pretty much free run of the place. They lowered all the levies, and that picture I just posted is what you should have in mind for this person. He is constantly carrying around two professional photos of himself.
Oh.
Headshots. You don't know why. He doesn't appear to be a model. Yeah, the new king Ire, he lowered those levies right down to nothing.
You say levies?
Can just sell their wares here as much as they want.
Bryn, do you mean tariffs?
Yeah, that. What's the difference between a levy and a tariff?
A levy is a usually earthenwork dam used to hold back water and hold back flooding from a river.
They can
It could also be
interchangeably.
armies.
They can be used interchangeably. Like,
I think that
a lot of other countries use the term levies instead of tariffs.
Oh, isn't levy like the verb to like you levy a tariff?
It can be.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Levies.
Like I said, it depends on the country.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
It looks like levies can be used as just a catch-all term for like taxation. So tariff.
Empires are more likely to pull levies or to lay levies on properties, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, they've had no real tariffs. They've you know that SportRiot drink. What's it called? Somebody give me the name of a sport-based energy drink.
Kazap.
Zap, I hate it. It's
Oh, Jesus.
So you know Kazap, that really great energy drink. I like to have like 3 of them a day myself. Used to be that you had to pay like $5 to get one around here. Now I sell it straight for $2.50. None of those tariffs. Goes straight to the customer. Oh, you should see the stuff. The Mr. Halesworth over there. Lovely man. Every time they hold one of the feasts, I've gotten to wait on a few of them myself. Every time they have one of those feasts, he brings over a nice 15-year vintage of Kazap. And yeah, have it just like an old vintage wine. Turns out energy drinks, just like wine, get better as they age.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Same reaction, Aeneas. Same reaction here. Imagine drinking a Surge from 1995 today.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But
You want to die?
okay, but imagine a Surge from 1992 that has been like oak ripened, and you have to pay $600 for
In a
a
legit ass cask.
Could you guys even imagine like French oak barreled Four Loko? Like,
It's so good. Oh, I love it.
oh God.
Single malt
Okay,
Kazap.
now, give me a way to end this scene before this person's accent kills me.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you're gonna have to keep this energy for the rest of this campaign.
Yup. This is your
Oh
vintage
yeah,
fire.
yeah. This is gonna be the accent for every person from this planet for the rest of the campaign.
Yep.
That's right.
So, you told us that Duroc died in his sleep of a stroke, so I assume he was in the royal chambers when he died.
what I
Who tended to him?
Oh, I guess that would be well, his usual handmaid was Susan, but she went sick a while back, and they had to bring in that new guy, Marco. Yeah, Marco was serving as his hand servant that past month or so before he died.
Where's Marco, bro?
I guess he would be he's still probably at the castle. He never really leaves the King Ire's side. He's a real good servant, that one. Sticks right to Ire, does whatever he asks him to.
I don't like this. I don't like this, Aveline.
So, what do you know about Marco? What can you tell me about Marco?
So you guys were recounting details them given you. Another detail you picked up that was relatively is that Ire you out at Old Dobbs Tavern a lot, but hasn't been down there since he passed. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah.
Down there since Duroc passed.
Yes. Yeah, since taking over the throne. Oh man. Alright, so I need to pick out a sprite for Marco. So obviously you guys have not met Marco yet, but I need to drop some candidates down, and I need you guys to tell me which of these is the right Marco.
Whichever one I can call Marco the Rubio.
Well, then it's definitely going to be the dude with the top hat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
the one I'm
absolutely.
leaning towards myself currently.
I actually kind of think the guy with the feather in his hat, might
Wait,
be.
where are they?
Oh, they're over by the
Stripes?
servants' quarters.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second. I'm okay. One of these dudes. Oh my god. Yeah, that's just a sketchy looking motherfucker.
Which one?
This person. Oh yeah, I'm about to drop him in. This person has killed before, and he will kill again.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no, that's
yeah.
Marco. That's him. You big fisted fuck.
The rest of these people
You big,
will.
Mr. Skinny leg motherfucker.
I'm putting these people on hold in the castle. I'm sure they'll come up before long, but this guy is named Marco, and he is
It's
not.
like Mickey Mouse put on a skin suit.
Marco. Yep.
His
Okay.
face just looks dead. He just looks completely dead. This dude.
I'm gonna leave
I do
him.
like the Bucchinia.
I'm gonna leave him visible just so that you guys have him as a note that you guys learned about him. All right. So you asked what happened to the king, and we revealed about the servant being changed shortly before he died. You guys learned that Ire used to spend time in Old Dobbs Taverns, but hasn't been down there in a long time. Did you have any other questions you wanted me to answer?
No.
Do either of you have any questions you want to ask about Mr. Halesworth?
I'd like to ask how close Mr. Halesworth was with both Darak and Ire.
Yeah, so Darak, not the biggest fan of him. I can tell you, he used to tell us that when Mr. Halesworth arrived, we were supposed to just give him a good 10 minutes before we let him in and tell him that the king couldn't see him because he was busy, but actually he was just sitting there playing solitaire on his phone. Didn't even play solitaire on his phone normally. He went out of his way to download it just so that he could play it while waiting on Mr. Halesworth.
That's very cute.
Yeah. Mr. Halesworth, him and King Ire seem to be the best of buds. He's just always together. And yeah, Mr. Halesworth's Mr. Halesworth's been real close with Ire. The funny thing is, Mr. Halesworth's daughter, what's her name? And now you guys need to give me a second while I find her name. Jenny. Yeah. Jenny Halesworth. She's over from Planet SportRiot too, just like her father is. She used to come down here and visit with him when he would come over. And she actually got along fairly well with both Darak and Ire. Apparently she's not as strong toeing the company line as her father is, you know. But since Ire took the throne, it's like she's a total stranger. Doesn't talk to her anymore. Damn shame, I think. They were a cute couple. I don't know if they were actually a couple. I'd get in trouble if somebody heard me say that. But they were good friends. So I'm gonna drop in Jenny and Mr. Halesworth. Okay. Yeah. So Where is Jenny at? You can ask me if you have any questions while I look for this.
So, the relationship between them changed after he took the throne. How does Jenny seem to feel about it? Does she still come down to the planet, or?
Oh yeah, she's living at her father's apartments. Over
Hey
at
guys,
New-
I have to go to finish this
Over there.
software. Yeah, sorry.
All right. You probably won't be missing anything.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ariel, deuces.
Bye.
You good?
Yeah. So she's been living with her father over at their apartments. She's been living with her father over at their apartments. It used to be that when she would come down planet side, her father would go and have dinner at the king's palace and talk to the king and all that stuff. But she would always slip out and go down to Old Dobbs Tavern and have drinks with Ire and all of his friends down there. Okay, and hold on. I need to find where is. Yeah, here it is. So I need you to know that this is Mr. Halesworth, and I want you to look at him and just be deeply aware on a spiritual level that this is the ambassador for the company named SportRiot.
Yeah, he's like
that's
one
Mr.
step away
Halesworth.
from looking like Duffman. So yeah, that works.
Yeah, I know you're looking at that and you're thinking that he's wearing denim on denim, but that's actually not denim. That's actually hand-pressed space Italian blue silk that is cut to look like denim.
Oh no!
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah.
Genius finest.
Okay, so I have one more detail you might be able to pick up, but I'm gonna need a diplomacy check for you to get it. I think Aveline is gonna have to be the one to make this diplomacy check.
Boy.
I mean,
Some more
Ruda's not any
diplomacy.
better. Ruda's also
Come
a pro.
on, one.
Okay. Do you want to dump any fate points into it?
I think I do. I'm looking at my aspects.
So let's see. You have very social dork as an aspect. That's an easy one. Da, 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 da.
I think very social dork works in that we've obviously spent some time talking with this servant. I would think over the course of that conversation, he's gotten a little more easygoing and he's willing to be a little less tight-lipped about things.
Okay, so that would get you up to a 9. Do you want to try to get that number a little higher? You might be able to use the fact that you're rich. You also have the fact that your culture is one of your aspects, so you could invoke Rogue Kingdoms as an aspect. You grew up in a similar place to this, and you speak the language.
I think I'd honestly just like to invoke the fact that I'm rich. Like, I feel like it would just be something that like comes to her in a way of, I want to make sure that you're telling us everything you think you should be telling us, and I'm sure that as a servant you work very hard to serve the king. I mean, you've already been so helpful, but I'd be willing to pay you for any additional information you could give us, handsomely at that.
Yeah. So I think that it does not even cross his mind that somebody would attempt bribery, because that would just be such a rude thing to do. I think he's just gonna assume that that you're just a very nice person and that you're offering a what's it called? you're just helping her out. You're just helping this guy have a. You're just giving him a gift.
Yeah, it's just like a tip. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. So the other thing that you pick up is that so I think this would go in the direction of, is it safe to assume that before long, she would ask about where is that sprite that I'm missing? So do you think that Aveline would turn the conversation towards just gossip at some point? And just check in general? Okay, so I think the hot goss that this guy has, and he probably pivots towards it as you are talking about Jenny, is that Sir Pater, who works over in the guards barracks, he's son of the captain of the guards and all that. I've heard that Sir Pater has been hanging around the gardens at night, right about the same time that Lady Jenny hangs out around the gardens. Don't you know?
Has anybody seen them together otherwise, or is that the only common area?
Yeah, so whenever they bump into each other in the gardens, they sit and talk for a long time. And sometimes you'll see them bump into each other in the hallways, and they've got this energy like, it seems like they're trying to pretend they don't know each other, you know? Lots of, conspicuously not looking at each other and all that. I'm telling you, I can tell when something's there. I hate myself for the fact that I don't already have a sprite for this person you're talking to. He needs a sprite and a name as soon as physically possible.
What can you tell me about Sir Pater? Who is he?
Yeah, so Sir Pater, he's the son of the captain of the guard. Who is named Lord Gadbert. So this is Sir Pater Gadbert. And he has just been beside himself since Darak died. I've heard him yell at the good King Ire a few times for not taking this seriously enough. He apparently got reprimanded by his father for that one. I'm trying to do Minnesotan, but it's so close to Irish that they keep bleeding together.
Yeah, it's Irish. It's full-blown Irish now.
It's fluid. They're very dynamic people. Yeah. So what is this guy that you're talking to? Oh, it's this guy. Yeah, it's this guy. Hold on. Somebody, for the love of God, give me the name of this person that you're talking to. And you know it has to be good, right? Like, in your heart of hearts, you know that this person deserves a very good name.
His name is Bush.
He just reminds me so much of Hot Pie from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's the one. No, Bush is definitely his name. And I think that if you ask, he says, "Oh, Bush, it's a nickname." And he says nothing else.
Can Aveline slip him some extra money to get him to say something else? I really am curious.
I think he just hands the money back to you and gives you a wink, and he says, "Magician never shares his secrets."
I respect this man.
Yeah. So, you wanted to know about Sir Pater. He takes his work very seriously. I'm not doing the voice because I have to be able to think, and it is so distracting. He takes his work very seriously. He's the son of the captain of the guards, who is named Lord Gadbert, and I'm going to be dropping him in just a second. He has been distraught since the death of the king, and he has this like crazy jackpot theory that that something that like there might have been some foul play at work with the death of the king, but like obviously that would be crazy, and so he's kind of been put on administrative leave because he's just been getting, just getting in everyone's way.
We gotta go talk to Sir Pater.
Not
that Bush isn't delightful, but I think we've gotten all we need.
Oh no, I mean, I don't know how, but I do know that Bush is somehow going to end up being on the Gemini at the end of this level. Like, it's just so important to me.
You're listening to the Split Radio Show.
I love him. He's great.
Okay, so
else.
Mr. Halesworth and Jenny Halesworth, those two are getting put down there. All right. This ran a little bit longer than I intended anyway, but you got a lot of good information between the two scenes that we did. Okay, so I've added in, you guys know about a dude named Marco. You have talked to a dude named Bush, who's just the chillest bro. You have learned about Jenny and Sir Pater, who is like pursuing her. You've learned about Lord Gadbert, although you don't know any specifics about him yet. And you learned about Mr. Halesworth, who had a relationship with Ire and Durak, and yeah, that was a very productive interview.
Yeah, we did get a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what they say when you want the good stuff, you should scope out Bush.
All right, y'all. It's been a good week. Good game. I'm gonna see y'all next week. Always go out on a strong zinger.
Wow.
Bye, everyone.
Tip my hat, I'm done. Peace.
Bam.
Bye.
Nah, but it was
Bye.
a good one,
All right, y'all. See y'all next week.
y'all. Have a good one.
You too.